To perform a bacterial broth culture transfer, you'll need your bacterial stock culture, your inoculating loop, and an uninoculated broth culture tube. For example, I'm using a triptych soy broth tube. Use a permanent marker to label the new tube with your initials, your class section, the date, and the organism you'll use to inoculate the tube. Light the Bunsen burner and adjust the air intake until you can clearly see the inner cone of the flame. Lightly flick or agitate the culture tube to mix the broth to ensure that the bacteria are resuspended in the culture tube. Loosen the caps on both tubes. Flame your loop, beginning at the portion of the wire closest to the handle and ending at the tip of the loop. You should see the wire and loop turn red as they're fully heated. Remove the wire loop from the flame. Wait briefly for it to cool. It's important that the loop has a brief cooling period before placing it in the culture broth. If the wire is too hot, the bacteria to be transferred will be killed. Open the bacterial broth tube. Briefly pass the open top of the glass tube through the flame to kill any microorganisms that may be contaminating the opening of the tube and could potentially contaminate the culture broth. Carefully dip your loop into the broth. There should be a film across your loop. Even if there isn't a film, there are still bacterial cells present. If you hear a sizzling sound, your loop was too hot. Remove the loop and flame the opening of the tube again to eliminate any microorganisms that may have been introduced accidentally. Replace the cap and return the culture tube to the wire rack. Bring the tube to the cap, taking care to minimize movement of the loop. Pick up the uninoculated culture tube. Remove the cap to the new culture tube, holding it with your pinky finger, and flame the opening of the tube. Place the loop in the broth and gently swish it from side to side to release the bacteria into the broth. Remove the loop and flame the opening of the tube. Replace the cap. Reflame the inoculating loop, being sure to begin at the wire closest to the handle and ending with a loop. You may now set the inoculating loop down on the benchtop. Incubate the tube at 37 degrees Celsius, or the specified optimum temperature for that bacteria.